Alright. Now let's look at the Mountain Thane tree for Fury specifically. So Fury doesn't actually get the Blood and Thunder because it can't spread any bleeds. So first look at Mountain Thane. Damaging enemies with Thunderclap, Raging Blow, or Execute has a chance to also strike one with a Lightning Bolt. So Bloodthirst is not in here. So you're going to be spending Raging Blow as much as possible, right? Raging Blow is in D-Claps. It buffs your Rampage Bloodthirst damage here, but Bloodthirst also don't proc this. So Bloodthirst is going to be the filler. Realistically, it's kind of a toss-up. Valishar training, they buffed this by a lot. It used to be 0.5 seconds, but it's now 1 second. I think the problem is going to be, even though you're going to be able to pick Ravager or Bladestorm, we're already most likely going... Wait, do we not... Yeah, so we have Anger Management, which is probably what we're going to be running. So with running Anger Management, you're going to be taking Ravager, but the problem is you're going to desync your Recklessness from your Ravager. I mean, maybe that's good, maybe that's not, but it's going to be annoying. So I'm going to say Flashing Skies. Then we'll go with Storm Shield, because the multiple Storm Bolts thing just doesn't matter. Storm Shield's just better in, like, every situation. Thunder Blast, and then we have Maximum Health or Reduced Damage. We'll take Reduced Damage. And then... Tracks trigger lightning strikes 15% more often, so it's like 30% chance. Let's build this for... We're going to build this for single target first. We'll do the same as the last ones. We'll do single target and then AoE. We'll do single target, right? Build this about the same. Nothing too crazy. Nothing special. We have to take Thunderclap. And because we're obviously buffing it, we're able to be taking it again. For single target, this actually isn't that bad with this talent setup, because that means we're not taking Shockwave, and it's a one-pointer going either direction. So it's just a PvE option here. We're not really going to be taking Slam damage, because Slam spends Rage, and we're not really spending Rage here. We will be taking... So this talent makes Seismic Reverberation, improve Whirlwind, Meat Cleaver, and Barbaric Training improve Thunderclap as well. So we are for sure taking this. But that also means, here's the fun part, we have to take Coned Reflexes. Because we're not taking Slam, a Rage Spender, to get to this. So we're required to take Coned Reflexes. Now we have an option of choices. Let's see how many points we have left to move on. We have 2 points. Meaning, I don't know, we're going to take, like... If we're pure single target, maybe we're taking Pain and Gain and potentially one of these, or we're just going to slam it. Actually, no, we can take Intervene. I forgot. Because Intervene gives us the Storm Shield buff that we can put on allies, which is... It's just good. It's just good. It's good to have. It's a good button. So for our single target, if we are doing... It's probably just going to be Spear again, because none of this is buffing like our bleeds, so... Roar. We'll take this. We'll take this. If we're running Anger Management, we're going to be running Berserker's Torment for sure. I don't really know of anyone who's actually going to be taking Odin's Fury. I mean, maybe just maths out to be better, I don't know, but I'm going to assume we're not taking it. So here's our single target setup here. One thing I was hoping, though, is that what they were going to do with Bloodthirst, is I was hoping they were going to make Bloodthirst a way better button, right? I hope they were going to make it a way better button, like a fucking 10-second slammer button. But they did not. It is just same as it ever was, Bloodthirst, which is kind of disappointing to me. Well, like this one here, Lightning Strikes have a chance to make your next 2 Shield Slams or Bloodthirst have no cooldown. I mean, I guess... I mean, this, honestly, With losing Annihilator, this makes more sense because we're not going to be using Slam as a filler, and we're probably also not going to be using Whirlwind as a filler in most situations for single target. So just slamming Raging Blow or Bloodthirst and just having your lightning strikes give you the other ones, it makes sense actually. Initially, I was pretty damn bad on this talent, so I'm like, who cares about Bloodthirst unless they're going to buff it? But this just means you're only hitting Raging Blow or Bloodthirst or Thunderclap, basically. One thing that is a quality of life that I do want is I want your Whirlwind button to turn into Thunderclap when you have Thunder Blast. I don't know if it does that already, but having... Maybe it's procs enough that it doesn't matter, but needing both Whirlwind and Thunderclap on your bar, kind of weird, kind of annoying. Especially since this spends Rage, and you only want to spend on, like, Rampage. So we're going to build this out. We will be taking the Raging Blow talents. Sudden Death is not a requirement. And here we have a new choice, actually, where you're either going to take Frenzied Enrage to increase your haste and movement speed, or Powerful Enrage, which will increase your damage your abilities deal by 15% and Enrage duration is increased. This one's really weird, because at a certain point, Warriors always seemed like the Fury's going to be the fast attacking one, but now it's like, hey, you can attack fast, you can attack big hits, right? But at a certain haste threshold, you don't really care about having more haste. You're not just going to, like, just keep pressing more, right? You want to do more damage. It's like having a lot of haste with no mastery, right? If all you have is haste, you're hitting a bunch of buttons, but your damage is pretty low. So if we're going full single target, I'm almost assuming Powerful Enrage is going to be the go-to. I could be wrong. Warpaint is the go-to here. Improved Bloodthirst, Raging Blow. These are just specifically... These ones are kind of weird, where we will be Thunder Blasting in single target, but to get the damage bonus, we have to take 2 points. So we'll avoid that for now. Slaughtering Strikes is an incredibly powerful talent. Just so we never run out, we can hit more Raging Blows. We unfortunately still have Frenzy to play with. And then we have a bunch of Bloodthirst talents over here, which I don't think we're actually going to take any of these. What you're probably going to do is we're going to go down here, pick Recklessness. Okay, now we're forced to take some of these. Because previously we didn't need to take these. We still have to spend 2 more talent points to unlock this row of talents. This bottom section. So what do we actually take? If we're running Haste Mastery, would it make more sense to take Cold Steel and Blood Craze, just so we're getting the critical guaranteed crits and more crits? I don't really think we'd be taking Sudden Death or Fresh Meat, and I don't think it's worth 2 talent points just for 25% damage. I mean, maybe if we were on a fight where we're fighting AoE ads, maybe this is pure single target, and then if we're fighting any ads, we're taking these 2 instead. But we're going down to here. We'll go Anger Management, and then... Well, here's the thing. So if we're taking this, we're taking that. We're taking that, we're taking Onslaught. And if we're taking that, we're taking Ravager Hurricane. And then it just builds itself from there. It's like Season 2 theory. It's like Season 2, except for we're Thunder Blasting sometimes. Which I think a lot of people might like. Right? A lot of people might like this. Which we're just getting avatars and lightning strikes and thunderclaps, and we're spamming thunderclap and it does a bunch of damage. Maybe thunderclap does so much damage that we're taking Meat Cleaver, Improve Whirlwind anyway, just for the additional bonus damage instead of these 2. But this is what I'm kind of looking at for potentially single target, right? Where we have our thunderclaps, we're doing the damage is buffed. And we have everything we kind of want. But once again, we're still dealing with spear, which sucks. So now, let's consider... We've considered this a single target, right? Where it's basically like Season 2 Fury, except... Arms Mountain Thane would be kind of cool, because like Arms likes pressing Thunderclap anyway. So Arms Thunderclapping would, I think, have been kind of cooler, to be honest. Like if Arms was Colossus and Mountain Thane, yeah, that'd be cooler. But the Mountain Thane in lore did have 2 weapons, so I don't know. It's very weird. But if this is our single target setup, what would we maybe be thinking? Because like I said, this is just Season 2 Fury, where you're just pressing your buttons. You're probably not really pressing slam, so you don't take the slam talents. So this is, I mean, this kind of built itself. The only talent points that were kind of awkward were these two, where it's like, well, what do we spend 2 points on? Do we spend 2 points on, like, realistically, it's like, well, do we spend 2 points on whirlwind damage, and then this is the raid build we run the entire tier, like Season 1 of Dragonflight? Or are we just going to run these two, and it's a little more single target damage based on math? I don't know. Because it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of Thunder Lords and Avatar procs and Thunder Blasts. And if we're Thunder Blasting so much that we're not even pressing Bloodthirst that much, then it's probably Meat Cleaver instead for the 25%. But this is just a mock-up for now. But if we go into what kind of AoE will we be looking at for Mountain Thane, right? We're looking at big Thunder Blasts, big AoE, big boys. Probably Flashing Skies again. Gathering Clouds, because more Lightning Strikes mean more Thunder Blasts, more AoE. Nope. Tunnel Vision's the same shit. Tunnel Vision is a stacking up to 20% attack speed buff, or in Slayer, I'll show it to you in a second. Every time you execute, you gain 30% attack speed like Odin's Fury. So if we're building this for AoE, we're thinking big thunderclaps, right? And if we're thinking about Mythic Plus at all, maybe we'll take Shockwave. But we need both these talents because they're all that related. Do we want more Rage? Do we want Shockwave increase? Let's say we're focusing more on damage, so we'll take 2 points in Rage here. We'll take this here. We'll take Intervene for the Storm Shield buff. That means that we need this, we need Avatar. Because if we're ever running Anger Management, we're just running Ravager. Because we're just going to wreck Ravager all the time. So there's no reason to ever consider that one. So if it's AoE, we're also running Thunderous Words. Because this is the weird thing, where it's like, we have this talent point here for 10% increased stamina, right? And we just can't take it. Like, we have 2 points for damage, 2 points for damage. We have 6 of the remaining 11 points in our tree. 6 of them are for damage. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, it builds itself in terms of PvE content. For PvP, maybe you're taking this for an additional 10%. Maybe Prot's taking it. But we used to be able to take this 5% stamina and be fine. But now we can't. But if we're building AoE, we'll go through the standard AoE stuff here. But if it's an AoE, haste actually is a little better in AoE. So maybe in AoE, we're not taking powerful in Rage. Here's the thing that's fun. One of these is just going to be numerically better. Maybe one's better in single target, one's better in AoE, but one of these is just going to be numerically better. And Enrage just giving you an additional 15% damage seems better than Haste. Because here's the problem, right? If we're in Rage, we're going to do 15% more damage, but a lot of our damage from Mountain Thane specifically is going to come from big thunderclaps, right? Big thunderclaps. So we're going to want more bigger thunderclaps. Spend this here, these points here. So now we're at the point here, once again. Yep, 20% attack speed. So if you're running Wild Strikes and your auto attack crits give you Wild Strikes, with Wild Strikes and so with Wild Strikes and then the attack speed talents and Slayer, you're gonna have like 40 to 50% attack speed without haste. Like, okay. So here's the problem, right? We're back at this again. We're back here again, where we have to pick what talents we're picking up for AoE. And we can either pick some Bloodthirst talents, like we can pick some Bloodthirst talents. We can avoid these. It's the same thing. It's literally going to be the same exact thing. We take 2 points here, Anger Management, Unbridled, Onslaught, here, back to here, Ravager, Hurricane. Because, like, nothing's better. Like, if you're running Anger Management, you're running Hurricane, Ravager. And then if you're running Slaughtering Strikes, you're going to want to run Onslaught. Because Onslaught enrages you. We'll keep the enrage up for Thunderblast. Onslaught also works with increased Recklessness chance. You're going to have Recklessness all the time. You're going to be sending out Recklessness Ravagers with 30% more Hurricane with big slams and Thunderblast. And you're going to be taking less damage at the same time. But here's the problem. The problem with getting to Odin's Fury is none of these talent setups are big Bloodthirst focused. And to get to Odin's Fury, it requires a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you're going to take Odin's Fury, you're going to take a 5th. And then that will knock you out of, and that's basically going to knock you out of any of this, which if you're running Anger Management, you're just going to be running this. Because you're going to run this. Like, it's just, like, this talent just doesn't fit in here. It's just dead. You know what I mean? So this is what our AoE would look like, and we're simply just spamming Thunderblast. And Thunderblast generates rage. It gives us our AoE. So we're just going to be spamming Thunderblast, spamming Raging Blows to get more Lightning Strikes. Lightning Strikes happen more often. We're not going to be running the Valajar training because that will reduce the cooldown of Ravager. I mean, technically, okay, here's the problem. This could technically be more damage, right? Valajar training and Flashing Skies. But you're going to desync your Ravager from your Recklessness. And hey, maybe that's better. Maybe it's more damage in AoE. It's just significantly more annoying to have to press Ravager all the time. Because Ravager is going to be reduced here. Anger Management, you're going to be spending rage all the time. You're generating rage all the time. This generates rage, but it gives you Hurricane. And desyncing this sucks. Which is why I'm like, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to go for Lightning Strikes for now. But this build is just big T-claps, right? Big T-claps. Well, here's the thing. We don't have the talent point economy to take Uproar. If we take Uproar, that means we have to take out a point in Armor to the Teeth. So we have to lose 5% of our armor in strength. Like, we have to lose 5% of our value of armor into strength to take Uproar. So we'll pair it with Avatar, but like, I mean, okay, you want to hear the really cringe part? You want to hear something really cringe? Remember, we get two Thunder Blasts here. Avatar buffs Thunderclap. We're Avatar of the Storm. Right? Depending on the situation, if we're in AoE, do we start running this in AoE? Because if we're standing in our spear, we're thunderclapping, we have big thunderclaps, our thunderclaps are buffed here, they're buffed here, they're buffed here, they're buffed here, they're ignoring armor, they're doing a bunch of damage, they're critting, we have lightning bolts going around, like, are we just running spear in AoE too? Because you throw your spear down, you get the crit damage? Because Thunderclap is uncapped? Or is Roar still going to be good enough? Or are we going to be running Uproar instead of Thunderous Words? Because we don't need because it's not buffing all of our bleeds, which means it's not buffing Cold Steel Hot Blood. It's just going to do a little more damage in and of itself. So are we just running Thunderous Roar because it's going to be doing crit damage with the Wreck Ravager going on all the time? Because if you think about it in a window, right? If we run Spear in AoE instead, that means that we're going to be able to throw a Wreck Ravager, then we're popping Avatar Spear, which gives us 2 charges of Thunder Blast, and our Thunder Blast, which is our T-Claps, are insanely juiced. They're also massive because the radius is 50% increased. So we're just going to be throwing this down, and we're just going to be slamming Thunder Blasts in a Spear window instead of running Roar. Because we're also buffing it by another 30% with Hurricane. I don't know. And we're also doing... Here's the other thing, too. We're also doing more AoE damage because Lightning Strikes deal less damage beyond 5 targets, but during Avatar, we're getting 50% more Lightning Strikes, so it's possible that during Avatar, we're like Thunderclap, Thunderclap, Raging Blow, Thunderclap, Raging Blow, Thunderclap, because we're having critical strike chance, and its critical strike damage increase. It's hitting everything around us. Thunderclap damage is also increased through the talents here. But this build's actually built... I forgot, actually. The Lightning Strikes don't give you Thunder Blast. Bloodthirst does. So you want to hit both buttons. So you're just spamming... So with this build, you're just spamming Bloodthirst every single time you can. Whenever you get a Lightning Strike proc from Raging Blow, it's giving you... It's giving you Lightning Strikes that have a chance to give you more free Bloodthirst. So you're just spamming Blood... So Bloodthirst becomes your main button. And then in your T-clapping and your rampaging, huh. So it kind of reverses it. Where in single target, you're hitting more... Well, not reversing it. I just forgot that Bloodthirst is how you mainly get your Thunderblast. So you're mainly just spamming Bloodthirst as much as possible. So I guess the authority would go Rampage, T-Clap, or Rampage, Thunderblast, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow? And then your cooldowns anywhere in between? And it is possible, depending on the timing of your Avatar Spear, you're holding Wreck Ravager, potentially, for a Spear window. But Mountain Thane seems like it's going to be pretty good in... But Mountain Thane seems like it's going to be pretty decent in AoE. So you're just going to be slamming. And the other thing to note that's special about Mountain Thane is for Mythic Plus, Thunderclap is uncapped. Thunder Blast is uncapped. The only uncapped spell we had before is Ravager and fucking Whirlwind. So with that being the case, this might actually be really, really good.